For this video, it says, what makes a solution? So the first learning target is I can use function notation to evaluate functions. The first vocabulary word that we need to worry about is function notation. So that's just a way of writing an equation, but instead of y, you're going to use f of x. So instead of y equals, you're going to write f of x equals. Now that's just a way of telling the reader that it's a function. So evaluating is substituting a number in, or substituting a number for a variable. The most common variable that we use is x. So notice in the first problem it says evaluate f of x equals 3x plus 5 for x equals 2. So you're going to put that 2 wherever you see an x value. Now notice I did not highlight f of x because f of x is still your y value. So I'm going to write f of x equals 3 parentheses 2 plus 5. Now you can just input it into the calculator all at once and output 11, or you can do order of operations. 3 times 2 is 6. Bring down the plus 5. So f of x equals 11. Now you do the same thing for this problem, but the x is already inside. So all you have to do is plug it into the equations x. And you're going to notice you're going to output the same number because it's the same problem. Now this says f of 2, so wherever you see an x, even if you see it 2 times, you're going to input it both places. Now notice I put the square on the outside of the parentheses. That's very important. So 2 squared is 4 minus 6. You're going to get f of x equals negative 2. Now whenever you deal with a negative number, I know I put the numbers in parentheses no matter what, but it is very crucial for you to put the negative 4 inside parentheses because we are squaring it. And if you don't use parentheses, the calculator will do the wrong operations. So f of x equals 16 plus 12. So then we have f of x equals 28. Now notice the problem that I gave you isn't just one x anymore. It's actually a set notation or a set of x's. So I put the x's in a table to help clarify my thoughts, or to clear up my thoughts. So all you have to do is plug in each value. Now when you do that, negative 1 squared is 1 times 3 plus 1. So then you will get y equals 4. 2 squared is 4. 4 times 3 is 12, plus 1 is 13. 3 squared is 9, times 3 is 27, plus 1 is 28. And now you do the same thing. I gave you 3 x's. I recommend just making a table and then just plugging it in to your input. I like to rewrite all of them first and then solve, but if you have a different preference, that's fine. 2 times negative 1 is negative 2, plus 9 is 7. 2 times 0 is 0, plus 9 is 9. 2 times 3 is 6, plus 9 is 15. Now the next learning target on these notes, it says I can determine all solutions that make a equation true. A solution is an ordered pair that exists on the given line. Now notice it says for the following table, determine whether or not the following ordered pairs are solutions to the function. So we have an x comma y, which you could write as -2 comma 13. This is our y value. So we're going to plug it into our f of x. This is our x value. So we're going to plug it into our x. And we're going to see if we have a true statement. So 13 equals -4 times -2 plus 5. So once again, we're plugging this into our y value. We're plugging this into our x value. And we're just calculating. So -4 times -2 is 8. 8 plus 5 is 13. So 13 equals 13, which is a true statement. So yes, this is an ordered pair on our line. Now you're going to do the same thing. You're going to plug in -9 equals -4 times -1 plus 5. So -4 times -1 is 4. Now you're going to get -9 equals 9, which is not true. So since you got a false statement, it is not a solution to the ordered pair. If given a graph and an ordered pair, the easiest thing to do is just graph whatever ordered pair I gave you and see if it's on the line. So 5, -3 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the right, and down 1, 2, 3. Now I understand it's very close to the line, but if you zoom in a little bit, you notice that the ordered pair is not on the line. So you can say this is not a solution. Make sure your sentences are complete. And make sure if you say that it is a solution or not, you have to explain why. So the ordered pair of a 5, -3 is not a solution because it's not on our given line. Now for number 3, different problem, different situation, but it's very similar to number 1 of this learning target. You have 2 x's that you have to plug in the 4 to, and you're going to plug in the 24 into your y value. So you're going to put 24 equals 3 times the quantity 4 squared, or 3 times 4 squared, minus 5 times 4. Notice I plugged in the x's in both locations, plugged in the y to the left. Now 4 squared is 16. -5 times 4 is -20. 3 times 16 is 48, minus 20. I'm just going to drop down that 24 because we haven't used it yet. 48 minus 20 is 28. Notice I'm dropping down that 24. Does 24 equal 28? The answer is never. So you can say that this is not a solution because I got a false statement.